present to you another edition of news stories as they unfold in the power sector. You are onto Power Wheel, a production of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. I am Chinwenwa Anyanwu. Take a view of some trending stories from the power sector coming up shortly in our Power News segment. The federal government has commissioned the 2x60 MVA transformer and 132x33 kV Odogunyo transmission substation in Lagos as part of the implementation of the Transmission Rehabilitation and Expansion Plan (TREP) of the Transmission Company of Nigeria.
The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, at the commissioning ceremony, said the new substation would boost power supply in the area and its environs, including Agodo and Ikorodu industrial areas.
We have built here enough capacity and some redundancy for Ikeja Distribution Company to provide power to its end users. Who will benefit? I think that's an important question to ask. Some of the people that will benefit are the communities in Odogunyo, in Agodo, in Cantonment, Fakale, Itailewa, Odola, Odokekere, Agbede, and Ojuju. Industries like Maja Steel, PZ Industries, Super Steel, and others are also expected to benefit.
He said government was committed to completing many power projects and that over 90 transmission projects have been slated for commissioning by TCN before the end of the year to improve the networks, stabilize electricity distribution, and expand the grid capacity.
I can tell you that in the course of this year, TCN has no less than 90 projects of substation completion, substation expansion, reconstruction of old lines in order to expand the grid capacity. And I have told them that I cannot be everywhere, so the managing director and his team have the responsibility to continue to interact with communities that will benefit from these projects and hand them over. But from time to time, as I was in Akko, as I was in Umahia, I will drop by when my schedule permits me, just like I am here today in Odogunyo.
The minister also lauded TCN for raising the wheeling capacity of the transmission grid from 5,000 megawatts in 2015 to 7,000 megawatts, adding that there was more to come.
From a capacity of just 5,000 in 2015 when you elected President Buhari, his team have built your transmission grid capacity to over 7,000 megawatt carrying capacity, and we are not done because there is more to come. So when people ask you, what does change mean? One of the things that you should tell them is that one of the things that change means is that Buhari has expanded your transmission capacity by adding 2,000 megawatts and is not finished. So today we continue the faithful implementation of our President's mandate to expand power infrastructure by coming here to commission the Odogunyo 132x33 kV and 2x60 MV transformer capacity substation.
The Managing Director of TCN, Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed, lauded the Minister for the support he has given to TCN and to the entire power sector that is being transformed under his leadership. He said TCN now has over 7,000 megawatts wheeling capacity, while generation and distribution capacities have also improved significantly.
Under the leadership of the Honorable Minister, we have been able to achieve a lot. And most people don't understand the sector, honestly. The sector, as at the time the Minister took over, the sector is at the point of death. That is what it is. Transmission has been scattered. distribution is not working, and generation is not working. Generation was only about 3,500, transmission was 5,500, and distribution was also about 3,000. As at December, when the last simulation was done, TCN transmission had a capacity of 7,124. And after that, we have added so many other substations. And generation was 7,000 megawatts, and distribution, if you look at last time, we had a peak distribution was 5,224.
Mohammed said the company's transmission rehabilitation and expansion program, TREP, was yielding results as TCN has developed in-house capacity to complete major projects and is working with diligent contractors to expand the grid to 20,000 megawatts in the next 4 years.
Under that program, we have a series of projects, and we have several of them that have been supported by donors. 2 of these projects that are supported by donors are also going to be implemented here in Lagos and the environment. These projects are NETAP and Lagos Ogun Transmission Project. NETAP is implementing several substations of radio, and this, I can mention some of them. For example, in Alagon, we are putting 2 by 100 MVA at 152, and then 1 by 300 MVA at 330. At Lake, we are doing the same thing. We are putting also 2 by 100 MVA at Jora, and also we are upgrading Jora to 330 kV substation. We are also upgrading the capacity of Maryland, Alausa, Itire, Ota, and several other substations in Lagos.
The managing director of Laga Sepo Power Limited, an indigenous power construction company, Mrs. Rhoda Afolabi, said among the 4 projects awarded to the company in 2009, 3 were earlier commissioned and are operational, while the 4th was the commissioning of the Odogunyan substation, which has 2 units of 60 MVA transformers.
3 out of these have been successfully commissioned within 9 years. I repeat, 4 now. With this one that is coming up today, it makes it 4 projects executed and commissioned in 9 years. By this commissioning today, I believe Laga Power has contributed to economic growth of the nation under the present administration.
The member representing Ikorodu Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives, Honorable Babajimi Adegoke Benson Ikorodu, lauded the minister and TCN for completing the project, which he said will enable more electricity to be supplied to his constituents in the state.
It gives me great pleasure to be here today to see that this TCN facility is being commissioned today in the Ikorodu Federal Constituency. I'd like to give tremendous praises to the former governor of Lagos State and now minister for giving it faith to bring this project here. If you don't know, Odogunyan Industrial Estate is the biggest industrial estate in West Africa. It has been bedeviled with lack of power supply and infrastructure, particularly road infrastructure. Ikorodu has added on this transmission station, and I'm sure it will bring 24-hour power to our federal constituency.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria has executed major maintenance works on the 330 kV transmission line from Benin in Edo State to Sapele in Delta State to strengthen its energy wheeling capability.
The General Manager Transmission, Benin Region, Engineer Jimmy Adetola, said the repairs on the line right in the River Ethiop in Delta State consists of the reconnection of detached red phase conductor and the replacement of old and corroded glass insulators with composite insulators.
River Ethiop is the deepest river in Africa. This is why we are working. We are standing on a badge because all this place is water and we cannot do anything. So it involves a lot of resources to get this job done. We have to hire badge That wire top boat that bring this batch down. The top boat is at the other end also because we have our men working at the other side.
Drop.
We have two groups working. So when we leave this way, we go to the other side. All they want to do now is to bring down a corroded insulator so as to be able to replace it with a good one.
Drop.
That's the job that is ongoing there.
He said he was on ground to see the work being done on the River Ethiop transmission line, noting that the corroded insulators on the tower were discovered during routine patrol by TCN and were already giving way.
We made proposal to Abuja to give us fund to do it. And fund was released and I thought that we have done this job for some time now. This is the last lap of it. So our men are there working. The tower is the highest tower in transmission in Nigeria. It's about 400 meters height. Situated right inside my tree, the biggest water in Africa. It will not be too good for me to give them an no commands and give them moral support. Yes, I'm not the one doing the job, but they are not doing it, but they need encouragement.
The general manager said due to the difficult riverine terrain where the towers are situated, the exercise took about 1 week to execute as heavy equipment like barge, tug, boats, among others, had to be used.
You know, the area where we are working is not the normal routes that all these boats fly all the time. So the place was covered with wood. Removing the wood allow access for the equipment we are used to, that is tug and barge. The device is where people that is like a house, like that, there people can stand and do their work as if they are working on the land. So to gain that access, we need to clear that place. And clearing that place is a serious challenge because it's inside the river. So they need about 2 or 3 boats to do it. While they are removing the weed, another one is discharging it. That one took more than 1 week. But the work proper started on Monday. And this is the 3rd day, just on one circuit. This is the 3rd day, and we are hoping that before Friday or later Saturday.
On the cost of the repairs, he explained that the maintenance of the River Ethiop transmission line cost several millions of naira to execute, giving an instance of the weed removal around the tower on the river, which gulped about 1.2 million naira.
It costs a lot of money. Look at the boats that took us. It's been on ground, carrying all to and fro. So we are paying daily whatever for them. The daily expenses, we are paying it. Then the badge that we use for work, the top boat brought it, and we are using both of them. They are on ground. We don't have, TCN don't have all this. We use money to hire. It's millions of naira though.
The principal manager for the region, Engineer Michael Adagoke, who explained the insulator replacement process, said TCN decided to replace the glass insulators with the composite type, which would last for 28 years so that they can withstand corrosion.
But what we are using now is more better because it's composite insulator. So it's more better than what was there before. With this now, if you put this, after 15 years, you'll be expecting trouble in everything. But with this, it can last us 28 years without any problem.
Let's take a break for a short message. We'll be right back after that.
In the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, we transmit bulk electricity from power generating companies, GenCos, to distribution load centers of various distribution companies, DISCOs. Nationwide, we do not generate electricity, neither do we distribute same directly to electricity consumers. TCN has 2 business units: the Transmission Service Provider, TSP, and Independent System Operations, ISO. The ISO comprised of System Operation, SO, and Market Operation, MO. The business units all perform specialized functions under the TCN umbrella. Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, wielding power for national economic growth. This message is brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN.
Welcome back from the break. The Power News segment continues shortly. In line with the critical administrative, operational and technical reforms taking place at the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, the Managing Director, Usman Gur Mohammed, has tasked the members of staff to work harder towards contributing more in attaining set objectives.
Mohammed, who spoke during a town hall meeting with the staff of TCN, said the company was operating better and differently from what it used to be in the past, just as he lauded the employees for their contribution to making that happen.
We have moved forward. At least we have gone a step far higher than what it used to be before. And for that reason, I think we have every reason to be happy, because TCN is no more the weakest link. Everybody knows. We are not only the weakest link, but we are challenging everybody in the sector to sit up. So what I want to tell you now is that can you shake the person near you and say congratulations? Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Mohammed said staff who failed to contribute are clearly not among those helping TCN to progress, as he urged them to work not because management has pushed them to do that, but for the sake of repositioning TCN to operate better beyond the present leadership.
I told you we have a critical role in reducing poverty in this country. If we don't do what we are supposed to do, TCN will continue to be, Nigeria will continue to be in poverty.
The TCN boss also assured that with the expansion of its resources, workers would have better welfare condition. He noted that the easiest way of expanding the resources of TCN is through eligible customer regulation. Mohammed said TCN has already signed 4 eligible customer contracts, while 3 others are in the progress as part of the various revenue-boosting initiatives that it was working on to improve the welfare of employees.
We have actually activated 4 eligible customers. We have about 3 that are in the process of being activated. When we improve our finances, I'm promising you I will improve your welfare in any aspect that you want. I will improve it. That is a promise.
Responding to questions on projects being delayed by contractors, Mohammed said TCN has taken over many projects and is using in-house engineers to complete them, noting that if that is not done, the contractors will continue to delay it.
We have taken over Wudum, we have taken over Damatru, and many more we are going to take them over, because those contracts, if you don't take over, they will not complete. They will never complete, because those people, TCN has become their farm.
Do not build under transmission power lines for your safety and health. Electricity power lines and substations, either for power transmission or power distribution services, are extremely dangerous when exposed to direct human contact. These power lines and substations transmit electricity that lights up our homes and offices, power our computers, TVs, and refrigerators. On the other hand, the same electricity when exposed is extremely dangerous. It can shock, electrocute, and kill anyone on its way. That is why everyone must adopt safety measures whenever we use or are close to electricity facilities like power lines or substation or transformers. For the safety of the people and animals, governments all over the world have approved way leave or right-of-way of 50 meters for 330 kV power lines and 30 meters for 132 kV power lines, and for 33 kV lines, the way leave is 15 meters. People are not expected to be found within this way leave or right-of-way for safety reasons. The lines can suddenly cut and fall to the ground with very disastrous consequences, such as fire and electrocution of anybody and destruction of anything, be it vehicle, houses, or vegetation on its line. It has also been established that power lines and substation emit electromagnetic fields, EMF, which is dangerous to human health. The World Health Organization, WHO, has warned that people who spend long hours under or close high-tension lines stand the risk of being affected by EMF and be vulnerable to cancer, leukemia in children, miscarriages among pregnant women, and other terrible diseases. It is therefore advisable not to build any structure or operate any business under or near any electricity high-tension lines or substations. TCN wants you to stay alive, stay safe, stay healthy, avoid power lines. This message is from the management of Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN.
The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, has said the solar-powered electrification of Sabongeri Market in Kano is creating jobs for technicians and is reducing the cost of energy for traders in the market by half.
Fashola, who inspected the project by the Rural Electrification Agency REA, said quality electricity was being delivered directly to the people without a grid system in what is described as the off-grid system.
This is an off-grid, and this is very important for increasing the access of people who are not yet served by the grid to power. So instead of waiting for transmission grids of 200, 400 kilometers coming to supply energy here, the energy has been brought right here.
The minister said the solar project is delivering electricity to 12,000 shops with the metering units allocated to them.
So it's really a coming together of opportunities, and this is what this government is about: supporting businesses, ease of doing business, dedicating attention to small and medium-scale businesses, because those are the drivers of GDP.
Fashola, who inspected the installation, said the solar power plant is drastically reducing the traders' energy cost while increasing their hours of electricity supply, noting that it was part of the ease of doing business strategy of the present administration.
From one of the customers I spoke to, he was spending about 2,000 thereabout a week on 5 hours electricity. He's now getting 10 hours electricity for half of that price. That is money in his pocket, and that is ease of doing business. We expect that this ease will be transferred to goods and services, so that hopefully his own prices too will come down, because everybody factors in this price.
Fashola said there are other similar SME projects the agency was handling, especially the Ariaria market in Abia State, where it is connecting 37,000 shops, the Shomolu printing community, and the Sura market, both in Lagos State.
All of this will happen before the end of this year. And what we are actually really about is to move away from the theory of electricity to the practice and realities. This is the change that the Buhari administration preaches. This is partnership between federal and state government. For those restructuring advocates, this couldn't have happened without a partnership between the federal and state governments.
The minister charged other state governments where projects are being executed to take ownership of them, as he hopes the benefits of having low costs of energy will trickle down to the larger public. He also commended the REA team led by the managing director, Damilola Ogumbi, for the initiative.
We expect that in all the other states that we go, in Abia, the governor has taken ownership, and in Lagos as well, the governor has taken ownership. So we expect that this will trickle down. We have some headwinds, problems to cross, but we are hoping that we can solve them backroom before it comes out in the open, because the area community is waiting for us, and we are already in place. And I'd like to thank this young lady and members of the Rural Electrification Agency. President Buhari put so much faith in them as young people, and you've seen all of them. They are really the champions of change.
A trader who operates a shoemaking shop, Al-Mustafa, related his experience to the minister after he had used the system for a month. Al-Mustafa said he now has a meter and is free from estimated billing methodology typical of a conventional distribution firm.
Stay put as we bring to you more news in the Power Flash segment. Keep a date with us next week for another exciting and informative edition. Until then, please keep watching Power Wheel on our YouTube channel, and we hope you reach us through these platforms. I am Chinwenwa Anyao. Bye for now.